Yeah, hi guys. Basically, we are discussing concept about the method concepts. We are discussing the methods concept. So today we'll discuss some points about the objects as well. We'll discuss some points about the object as well. The first point I am taking, like object means it is the physical entity. So second point, if I take the second point, generally objects are used to store the data. Store the data. Okay, and then the basically we'll see the points as well, and then practical also I will show. The first point is object means it is the physical entity only. Physical entity only. Objects are used to store the data. Objects are used to store the data. I would say the third point, object will be created based on the class, based on the class name. Okay, the next point, if I take the next point, to create the object, we will use the I would say we will use new operator. New operator. And the next thing, object will be stored in the heap area. Okay, for every object jvm will for every object jvm will assign one unique hash code. One unique hash code. Okay, so these concepts we have already discussed, and then here the some points. Now we are entering into the real-time coding. Real-time coding. In the real-time projects, data will be play the major role. Data will play the major role. Okay. The next, if I take the next point, Java is a hoop language. So everything will be represented in the form of everything will be represented in the form of objects only. Objects only. In the real-time projects, in the real time, mainly our methods are deals with the deals with objects only. Objects only. So this is the uh, few points we have in the objects. Basically, object is means it is the physical entity, and objects are used to store the data, and object will be created based on the class name. To create the object, we will use the new operator. New operator meaning, for example, the class name. If you take the class name, class is the keyword. If you take the class name, class is the keyword student, and here I want to create the, like, this is the main method. I would say this is the class scope of the class from here to here. Now I want to create the class for the I want to create the object for this class. How can I create? The help of new and student. If I mention like this, so this is the, with the help of new operator we can able to create the class name. With the help of operator, new operator, we can able to create the class name. That's what I'm saying. Object will be stored in the heap area. Object will be stored in the heap area. In the JVM itself, will have the heap area. Whenever you created the object, whenever we create the object will be created in the heap area. At the time of object creation, the JVM will assign one unique code for the hash code. Like for example, if you create the five or six objects, the JVM will give the five or six unique hash codes for the object. Okay, the next point, if you take in the real-time projects, data will play major role. Data will play major role. Basically, Java is a OP language, so everything will be represented in the forms of the in the objects only. In the object only. Normally, how one class will communicate with another class in the real-time scenarios, with the help of objects only, you can communicate with one class with the another one. That is, we will see in the um, normal. I would say programmatic also we will see no issue. In the real time, mainly our objects, mainly our methods deals with the objects only. In the real time, mainly our in the real time, mainly our methods deals with the objects only. Deals with the objects only. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So I will tell you like what the internal the scenario will happen and all everything I will tell you. Like now I will here my question is how can I come how the one class will communicate to the another class, another class. Okay, okay, fine. So here my question is write a Java method, write a Java method to print data available in the student objects. So how will you write the code for this one? How will you write this is the requirement. For this requirement, how will you write the program for this one? How will you write the program for this one? Write a Java method to print the data available in the student object. How will you write the how will you write program for this requirement? Program for this requirement. Okay, I will open my Eclipse and then I will show you in the practical as well. I am taking one class. The class name is, I would say, yeah, student name. I will take. Student is the one class. The student has got created. Now I want to take the student ID. Okay. Variables are declared. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Now instead of student, I will take the driver. Driver. Simply, I will rename the file name. Okay. So in this file, I will take one more class. The class name is the student. Okay, okay. So here I am declaring the int ID, meaning student ID, string name, meaning student name. Okay. Next, I would say string height. I'll say height, int weight, or else I would say double weight. This is fine. This is fine. Within the class, in this class, I have taken four instance variables. Four instance variables. Int ID, string name, uh, four instance variables: int id, string name, and int id double weight. I have taken four instance variables. Okay, fine. Now I want to call those variables in my method. So how can I communicate, like we'll have the one concept, like one how the one class will communicate with another class with the help of with the help of how the one class will communicate with the another class. Within the one file also, we can take multiple classes, no issue. Now we have taken one class. I want to communicate this class to this class. How will you take? Normally, if you take one method, we can parameters is the input. With the help of input, you can pass the parameters. If I take the void is the person, and here if I take the like print method, if I take the print method, here we can two ways we can give the parameters to the parameters, meaning input to the methods. One is int id and string string name, comma, and int weight, comma, int height, int height. Okay, fine. So this is the one way for giving the input to the, I would say this is the one way giving input to the method. And we have the one another way also, that is the object. So simply you can create the object for the student s, and simply you can create the object for the student. Okay, and you can give the. Okay, now we are following the second approach. Now we are following the second approach. Okay, fine. So this is the one class. Within the class, we will have the multiple. So both ways we can give the input to the methods, but this is the recommended way. This is the recommended way. Okay, fine. Now simply I will go to the code, and I will take one main method. No, no, no. Here I will take the one method. Why is print is the method. Okay, print data. I am taking the print data method. Okay, okay, fine. Now here my requirement is I need to take the object for this class. How can I take student? Student S. This is the object, meaning we are giving the parameter. We are passing the parameters to this method. Meaning parameters meaning parameters are the variables receiving the values into the specific method. Void meaning if the method don't want to return anything in the time, you should use the void method. Now in this method, with the help of this method, I am only taking the receive the values and perform some operation. I simply print the values. So that is the my requirement. Okay, now simply I will take this. So sysout statement, sd name, sd dot name. Okay, fine. Okay, sd name. Okay, so I have taken only two variables. Now, what will I do? I want to access, I want to call this method. This is the instance method or static method. How will you call this method? Hmm, this is the normal, I would say. For calling this method, the compulsory, the method will have the main method. Will have the main method. If you open the main method, okay, if you open the main method, if you open the main method, it is showing, I would say, if you open the main method, we can access. If you want to if you want to access, if you want to call this one, we can use the we need to create the object for the. driver. So we are creating the object. Creating the object meaning where JVM will allocate some memory to the variable. Okay, so D is the reference variable, and the class is the okay. This is the reference variable. This reference variable hold the object. That object will contain the multiple instance variables. Okay, fine. Now can I call directly this method, meaning print data? Can I call directly like this? If I call like this, it is throwing the error. Why it is throwing the error? Because the print method is asking some values. How will you give the values to them? So simply we should create the object for the main method, uh, s equal to new, I would say, new student. Okay, okay. Now I start, we should give the 5.5 like that. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, next, you should take ID name, only two things. S dot ID equal to, we should take 100, and S dot name equal to, here we should take some name. I would say Krishna, like that you can take. Okay, then you can now you can call the method t dot print student s. Okay, okay, control s, simply run the file. Simply in this way, the classes are communicate. One class is communicate with the another class with the help of objects only. With the help of objects only. If I revise one more time here, basically object means it is the physical entity. Physical entity. Objects are used to store the data. Store the data. Store the data. Objects will be created based on the class only. Object will be created based on the class only. Next, object will be stored in the heap area. Object will be stored in the heap area. For every object, JVM will be assigned one unique hash code. One unique hash code. One unique hash code. Next, in the real-time project, data will play a very major role. Data will play very major role. And Java is a OOP language, so everything will be represented in the objects only. Everything will be represented in the object only. In the real time, mainly our methods deal with the objects only. In the real time, our methods will be deal with the objects. That's it. Today itself, we'll catch up in the next session. Thank you.